Hi and welcome back to Norski TV, the What's Going On podcast. It's good to be back. I haven't posted for a couple of weeks, but here what busy man. But listen, we're gonna be talking all things football. Obviously, big Arsenal fan, as you know. Oh gosh, memories, 2006, memories. Anyway, listen, enough of the madness. But yeah, look. We are going to talk about football. I've got somebody coming on, a guest. Man can chat for Manchester United. But the man can chat. So we're trying to keep this down to an hour. So I'm begging my friend. In a minute, you'll see will be revealed who the person is. I just said a Man United fan will be coming on. And so before we proceed, listen, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We need to get some traction on this. And thank you again for those that have subscribed in the last week. I've had 6 new subscribers, up to 156, on my way to 200 subscribers. So please share this around, guys, please. And man, it's hot. And I'm doing this in the kind of kitchen lounge kind of area. So the heat in the kitchen is kind of, as I say, if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. Yeah. But listen, we're going to have a great time tonight, talking all things. I've got my dear partner, and that's my wife. Yeah, let's be careful there. Let's be careful there. Okay, but listen, I'm about to introduce a distinguished gentleman, big Man United fan or supporter. He can explain here, and I'm going to bring him on. That's Mr. Leon Brown. Leon, how you doing, brother?
Normski, my guy, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Did you really go back to 2006, bro?
I did. Because way things are rolling right now under Arteta, you know what I mean? I have to go back to those good old memories. Yeah, 2006.
That's a long time ago, you know. That's a long time ago, you know, bro.
A very long time ago. You know, I think the last time we won the title was 2004. So it's not good. And I suppose, listen, you guys are going 10 years as well, man.
Yeah, you know, it has been a while. It has definitely been a while. But I feel like we're finding some type of resurgence. I feel like the old Man U is back. This season, all right, I'll be honest with you, Norms, even before we got the signing that put this smile on my face, I was
Hold a minute.
See, come on. My son's been doing that literally non-stop, right? Even before he signed Norms, I was saying to my son, I'm like, I think we look good this season, you know. I think we look good. We got Sancho, which is he hasn't done his bits yet. He's just still warming up and give him time. But we got Varane as well. And I was like, you know what? We were playing really good football at the start of the season. And then when the big Ronnie signed, I was like, that's it, man. It's expected. We're supposed to win this. We're supposed to win the league this year.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. The only thing is, though, I mean, you've got the talent there, but with Ollie at the wheel, is he the man to take you forward?
And I've always said this from day one, right? From literally day one. You don't need to watch Ollie. Ollie's the front man, yeah? But the guy pulling the strings is Mick Phelan. He's the guy that was there with Alex Ferguson, you know, one of Alex Ferguson's assistant managers. So this guy knows the club inside out. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, but I think Mick Phelan might have even been there when David Moyes took over and changed the whole backroom stuff. I'm not sure, but we can check that out. But you know, I always said that if David Moyes had just kept that backroom staff, he might still have a job. But he got rid of all of them. And I think Mick Phelan was one of the guys he got rid of. So I definitely trust Mick. And for sure, I guarantee you that Sir Alex is not too far away from dressing room Norms. He's not too far away.
Yeah. He might do a David Beckham, yeah? Throw that boot in his head.
The old hairdryer treatment. I kind of got a vision of Ollie calling Sir Alex like before the weekend. So Sir Alex, what team am I going to put out this week?
Listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing that actually. But saying that, okay, what's this? Hold on, somebody's on the chat already. Manu nil, Aston Villa 1.
Here we go. Why? Where you see when they come out the woodwork, Norms? You see they come out the woodwork. Roger,
Yeah,
all right, Roger,
welcome,
you can
welcome,
have
bud,
that
Roger.
one, yeah?
He's a big
Have
Aston. Roger's a big Aston Villa fan. I know the guy, and the thing about you don't hear from Roger for a while, and then soon as they take your part, man is coming on my timeline and everything. You know what I mean?
There you
So
go.
I knew
There
you
you
had to, I knew
go,
you had to
man.
get that one in. I knew you had to get that one in. But
I'll let him have it. I'll let them have that one.
But saying that, I mean, in terms of our teams, when you look at our team, self-sufficient, team, and we are going to go into the big topic tonight. But we are both our teams are self-sustaining, and I don't know whether that's the road that we should still be going down. And we will, come onto it because obviously this main subject tonight is all about the Magpies, and yes, we will go into that. But in terms of you're pretty confident that you guys win a trophy this season.
Well, a trophy, yes, I really believe that it's expected. I mean, let's just talk about the team for a little while. We are looking solid. I know Roger's got his. He's got his win under his belt. He's be happy with that. We're looking good, and I would be disappointed if we didn't win a prestigious cup, right? Like the FA Cup or the Premier League. If we didn't win a league or an FA Cup this year, I'd be like, we've underperformed. Second is not good enough with the team we've got right now.
Well, I mean, Arsenal. As for Arsenal, mate, I think we do good to try and finish in the top 8 right now.
The start you had was horrendous, but then give the man his props because I'm sure it was Arteta who won Manager of the Month last month.
Manager of the Month. Yeah. I think that's probably the only trophy he's going to win.
I thought he was going to be gone by Christmas, but he won Manager of the Month for September.
I mean, fantastic result against Tottenham, and the thing for me is that I want to see that consistently. Because after having that high of beating Tottenham, then we go to Brighton. They basically played us off the field, and hearing Thierry Henry's I don't know if you've been hearing about Thierry Henry making his remarks and really just saying that he doesn't really know where this club is going, and he doesn't really feel that we're going anywhere under Arteta. He's literally come out and said that. Yeah, he's come out and said that today. That was a talk, and wow. I have to agree with him. I mean, Arteta is a rookie. I just feel that he was given the job too early. He needed to sort of maybe manage a team, probably in the Championship or probably in Scotland, maybe someone like Rangers or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't it funny? It's funny that your manager and our manager is actually very, very similar in that they've got a very, very high profile job with very limited high level experience, right?
Yeah.
So
I'll say he's got more experience than your manager's definitely got more experience because he's managed in Norway. Yeah. He's managed Cardiff. Obviously, he got them relegated. So
but neither of them have managed anywhere near this level before now. So I mean, give him his props. Yeah. Frank Lampard was the same though. He got a job at Chelsea. Didn't last for long, but he was there. I mean, you got to look at guys like Steven Gerrard, who did the right thing, exactly what you just said. Yeah. Gone abroad to the top division of a league which is not quite as stressful or demanding as the Premier League. So I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say with Steven Gerrard, he's been linked with the job at Newcastle as well. Amongst who else was there? Brendan Rodgers, but apparently he looks like he's turned that down.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that he's turned it down. I mean, he's doing something at Leicester. I think he's been there 3 years now at Leicester, something like that.
Yeah,
I think he's got a good team there, a good manager, and hopefully, Leicester's the type of club that a buyer would be looking at. They've won the league. They're in a big city with good support. They've got a good manager that's in place. If they could do it with a bit more cash behind them, they could really challenge again.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, but they've done well. I mean, I like Leicester, the way they run and their journey coming from not necessarily them, but from League 2 and winning the Premier League in 2015.
Amazing.
What a feat, man! What a feat! But they're doing well. But listen, we could be talking all day. Welcome to the people in the chat. But I've got some trivia questions for you. All right. So the first one, as I give you these three. Well, it's more clues. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you the first question. Yeah. 25 years and 6 months to this date. Yeah. Something happened. A comment was made. 25 years and 6 months to the date, a comment was made. All right, that's all I'm going to say to you. Have a little.
A comment was made. A comment was made from who to who?
I'll be giving it away then, innit? I'm going to start giving you the clues. I'll be giving it away. So 25 years and 6 months to this date. Okay, and it's obviously got to do with something. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Norms, 25 years ago. That's 1996.
Okay. We got the date
1996.
Right? You got the year right, yeah?
Probably in Deptford somewhere.
Okay, here's the next clue.
Okay. What is it?
Headphones. 25 years and 6 months and a couple of days.
6 months was in March 2000.
Okay, I'm going to do. Okay, here's the third clue.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I've got you.
Wait, no. You've got something to tell me, something. You've got somebody in the back.
No, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't. I've got it. I know exactly. I know. I've got it, Norms. I've got it. I think I've got it.
You want to phone a friend? 50,
no,
50?
I think I've got it, Norms.
Yeah?
I think I've got it.
For the £1 million question.
Wait a second. I'm trying to find my headphones.
Are we gonna do this together?
I know exactly what it is. I can't find my headphones. Are the headphones out there? Let me borrow your headphones. I think I've got it, Norms. Yeah, I've got it.
What? Okay, don't say it, but
that's really good. That's really clever. What you've just done there is really clever. That's actually really.
People in the chat, people that are on, put it in the comments. If you know who it is, I won't reveal the answer on the actual chat, so that I think Leon's probably got it. I think we're probably going to do this together. So put it in the chat who you think it is.
Good night, darling. Close the door, baby. Good night. I've got it, Norms. That is really clever, considering the topic of today's discussion and me here as a Man United fan. That is a clever link, Norms. I rate you for that.
Well, I've been working it all day.
Has anyone in the chat got it?
No one at the moment in the chat. I think they're frightened to put it in there. I don't know. I'm hoping that someone will put it in the chat.
Okay, now I've got another question.
Do you know what I'm about to do, or the answer that Leon's going to reveal?
I hope it's right now, because you know what it is. I think I know what it is, but I think.
Well, I'm going to do a post.
Yeah. So watch this, right? All I want to know is.
Wait for people to put something in the chat, but
all I want to know is what was your third clue going to be? No, don't tell me the third clue, because I'll give you the answer, and then you can tell me what the third clue is going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the quote is.
The third clue will definitely be audio.
Audio, yeah, exactly. All right. So the quote. Should I say the quote?
Okay. Hold on a minute. All right. You should be drinking out of an. Hold on, let me put that in there. Yeah. No, it's Kent Folkestone. Sorry. Yeah, Asher. Welcome to the chat, man. You should be drinking out from an Arsenal cup. I have got my Arsenal cup actually, but right now I'm drinking out of a Kent Folkestone cup. Yeah. Sorry about that. Right. Yeah. Sorry. So, Asher, do you know who this person is that I'm about to reveal, or the answer that Leon's about to reveal? Put it in the chat if you know.
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. Sorry. All right then. Well, right. Okay. So, Leon.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably know who it is.
I got it.
All right. So he doesn't know. Asher doesn't know. He says no. He hasn't got a clue. Okay. Leon's got it. I'm hoping there's other people that may have it.
It's an all-time.
Yeah.
It's an all-time football classic.
Yeah. And the thing about it, your team was heavily involved in this.
Yeah. So tell the story. Right? So let's tell the story. So the story goes.
Alex Ferguson.
The story goes like this, right? And I think the reason why I think that's clever, Norms, is because we're talking about Newcastle United tonight, and there's me as a Man United fan, right? So the story goes like this: that in 1996, he says 6 months ago, so just before April 1996, right? The league was coming to an end.
That's right.
And Newcastle United, Newcastle United were winning the league.
Yeah.
And their manager at the time was a guy called amazing footballer, an English footballing legend, a guy called Kevin Keegan. For anybody,
played for my favorite one. Here we go. Jay said boot in the head for David Beckham.
It wasn't that. That hadn't happened yet. I don't think that hadn't happened. So Newcastle were leading the league. I think they were up by 13 points with 5 games.
12 points.
12 points with something like 5 games to go, right? Yeah. And Fergie, I can't remember the comment that Fergie made about Newcastle, but it was something about them saying, they go.
It was about Leeds were involved. He made a comment about Leeds making it easy. And also about Stuart Pearce.
Okay.
Remember, Stuart played for Nottingham Forest. So they played Nottingham Forest, got a 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest. They beat Leeds 1-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's club, Liverpool. Who was the guy that scored against them? Was his what's his name? The one that I don't want to say it because I could get myself into trouble. What's the guy that used to be on Talk Sport? He was married to Eureka.
Yeah, his name's Stan Collymore.
Yeah. I think he scored the winner.
Okay, all right, wicked.
And the geezer went, oh! Does anybody in the chat know who it is? Please put it in the chat.
But it was the interview with Kevin Keegan that you are referring to right there.
Right, I'm about to do it. So I'll do it. I'll give it to them.
Can you play it? Can you share it and play it?
I wish I could, but I thought I would do a black version. Let me tell you something. Yeah, Mr. We would love it. Butter them, boy, them.
Quality
version, yeah. But this is the Newcastle version. I ain't got a very good Newcastle accent. He goes, I would love it. No. He started off because honestly, I would love it if we beat them.
And he was already winning. He was already in the lead, 12 points ahead.
12 points ahead, mate. And
you know what happened.
That statement. And the thing about Fergie, yeah, he does it to a lot of managers. Because you remember Benitez got into their head. Facts. Yep. Remember facts?
Yeah. He got into the head. We must have won, honestly, as a club, we must have won at least 3 or 4 titles, maybe more actually, where Fergie just got into the head of the opposing managers. It was all mind games. Yeah. And from that moment on, we knew that we were going to win that league that season. When we saw Kevin Keegan's outburst like that, we knew for sure that he'd lost it in the head, and we were going to win. That was brilliant.
So, basically, the reason why I use that as a segue into this conversation,
very good segue.
I would love it if we beat them, but now it looks like the shoe is on the other foot now.
Well, I tell you, first off, if anybody hasn't seen it, then just go on YouTube or wherever
it is. And just type in
Kevin Keegan. Kevin Keegan, I'd love it, and it will come up.
I would love it, and you'll find it there. Yeah. I was gonna share it, but I don't know if I'll get done. Maybe I probably wouldn't get done for copyright, but you know it is. But I thought I would use that because obviously they ended up losing the league, and they had some really good players back then. The likes of Aspiria, Lee Clark,
Well, Shearer was he there or just before?
Yeah, Shearer was there. I think Shearer was Shearer there. Les Ferdinand, I think was one of the top goal scorers. I think he had 26, 27 goals in that season.
Brilliant.
As
you said, Tito Aspria was an amazing footballer.
Amazing footballer. The stuff, and his somersaults.
When he scored, exactly.
Absolutely brilliant. And Newcastle then, I mean, I think that everybody loved them. Yeah, they played exciting football, and now there's a chance that could be coming back. You know, they've been under the ownership of Mike Ashley for 14 years. And really, this guy was really just taking the money out of the club. He changed the name, Sports Direct Stadium, you know, took away St. James Park. I know Newcastle as St. James Park, not Sports Direct, whatever the stadium's called. And these fans suffered. And if you know Newcastle, that is their life and bread. It's their bread and butter. It's like religion to them. It's right smack bang in the middle of their town centre, you know. And you know, we now are looking at a situation here where we've had if not the most expensive takeover of £300 million. And I know you're a finance man, and that's why I got you on, Leon, because I know you're a man that likes to deal with finance and money and stuff like that. And I know you could probably give me a better insight. I just kind of briefly read over some of the stuff, but the investment company, PIF, that's what they're called, what they're called. If you know, I think, is it public?
I didn't actually get the name of it, but
I think
it is. It's like it's effectively the government of Saudi Arabia is basically that it's under a
public
name
investment
authority, public investment authority, something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Well, PIF. I don't know the actual PIF. The F means. Let me just get rid of that. Oh, Public Investment Fund.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're worth an estimated $500 billion.
Oh, scandalous! Do you know how much money that is? Can anybody even write that down in numbers? That's 500. Right, write down the number. If you write 500 with 9 zeros after it, that's a chunk of change. That's 500. That's
500. That's 500. Is it a billion? Is 100,000 million in it or something?
A bit. 1 billion.
Yeah,
is a million times 1,000. Yeah,
and it's 500.
1,000 million is a billion,
and they got 500 of them.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. And the actual owner himself,
is that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think. It's. So
that's right. 1,000 million. Yeah,
1,000 million is a billion. Yeah, and they've got 500 of those boys.
It's so much that I'm actually having to double check myself. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And obviously they've it's a Saudi-owned group. They've taken over the club alongside the Reuben brothers, who has an estimated worth of £21 billion. You hear what I'm saying, Leon? £21 billion. And then you have your Amanda Staveley, who was an ex model. She's married to an Iranian, loads of money.
Is she actually a part owner as well? Or
So basically, PIF have taken a stake of 80%, and the Reuben brothers 10%, and Amanda Staveley 10%.
Wow.
She's got a net worth estimation of 100 million.
Wow. Okay.
So she's going
to. She was the one that administered the deal and put it all together.
That's right. And I think if you remember probably about 2 years ago, they tried to go through with this deal, amid stuff, some controversial stuff, and we're going to come into that later on with regards to human rights and stuff like that. But I was worried then when I heard that they were going to take over Newcastle. You know, they bought the club for 300 million. Mike Ashley now is a happy man.
Very happy. How much did he buy it for?
I can't remember. I'll tell you the truth. I don't know.
I'm going to search now online.
Yeah, if you search, I don't know, but he's made a nice little package there, and he's worth a lot of money. Jay, you look at Sports Direct and what they're making.
So he paid 135 million for it. 134 million for it. From Freddie Shepherd and John Hall.
Right.
He did no due diligence on the club and was unaware that it was £100 million in debt. Amazing. Right. So he's bought a club for 134 million, and he's also taken 100 million of debt with it, which is that's mad. He's basically paid 234 million for a club.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this is the most expensive takeover. All right. I'm praying and hoping that Arsenal will win the next one.
Yeah, but I mean, who's got the ownership, the largest stake? You got Kroenke in there, right? He's just not giving up.
He's got 100%. That's it. He owns it fully.
He owns it fully, so he's
He
not
owns
giving
it
up.
fully.
Wasn't there somebody? Wasn't Gazida's like?
No, Gazidis was a CEO. It was Ustinov. He's now gone to he took his money out because he wanted to buy. He had I think something like a 20% stake in there.
He was building his stake up until very recently.
Yeah. Because under Mike Dean, you know, they call Red Investments, and then Kroenke comes along. You know, he's worth Kroenke. I mean, let me. I sent this out. I don't know if I sent it on our WhatsApp group, but just with regards to the levels when it comes to who. All right, I've got this WhatsApp here, right? The richest owners, right? So Newcastle, in terms of ownership, 260 billion. Okay,
the owners, right? The owners.
Yep. The owners. I mean, the guy himself, I can't know what his name is. He's worth 18 billion, but as a consortium, 260 billion. Yeah, followed by, and there's talk also, just to let you know, that in a couple of years' time they could be worth over $1 trillion.
Yeah, well, I mean, that money will grow. I mean, if they've got their money in the right place, it's definitely gonna be multiples of where it is right now.
And some of the things, I'll come on to that, some of the things that they're going to be doing with the club in terms of investing in youth, investing in the training ground, because right now the training ground is a shambles right now. So they're looking to invest in there, invest in the area, build that back up.
Man City did exactly the same, didn't they? Manchester City did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Man City, they're 23 billion, followed by Chelsea, 10 billion. Then surprisingly, fourth, Arsenal, 7 billion.
Where's Man U?
All right, I'm coming to that. All right. Wolves, 5 billion. Aston Villa, 5 billion. Tottenham, 4 billion. And in ninth place, Man United on 4 billion.
The owners, that's the net worth of the owners, right?
Yeah. So if you think about, if you put from Man City down to 10th, they're still not worth as much as the Newcastle.
That is scandalous.
It's mad. So basically, they've got the richest owners. I mean, in terms of the value of the club, yeah, Man United is probably more valuable.
Yeah. So one of the things I was looking at was revenue, and Man U sits at the top of all the clubs in terms of their revenue.
Yeah. The last one, I mean, I don't know what the latest one, but the last time I know they were tops, and I was looking at some report 2018, and they topped it, and I think Real Madrid was behind them with Barcelona in third. But listen, the stuff that's going on over in Spain, and I wonder how they feel, Leon, in terms of all of this money coming in the club. And I know we had a conversation some months back when we had another podcast, and we was talking about the Super League and that. I mean, when you look at this sort of money that's coming into this league, into the Premier League, this is almost like a Super League of its own.
Yeah, so the Premier League is becoming a Super League, but it's not, obviously, clearly not the same as the European Super League with the likes of Juventus and Real Madrid in it. But you know, my thing is this, and the answer that I would like to know is how much of their own money can these owners put into the club, right? So they bought the club for 300 million. Now, how do they feed their money into the club? Do they just go and buy players as they want? I mean, there's the financial fair play rules, which means they've only got a certain amount to play with, right?
Right. This financial fair play, I mean, look at it how you wish. Because it just seems like clubs seem to get around it somehow. And you may know, I don't know the loopholes. You're the finance space, so you might be able to tell me some of the loopholes. But
no, I'm not well up on the financial fair play. I wish I was.
So with the financial fair play, basically, obviously, it's basically what you earn is what you spend. Yeah. Now and there's a certain limit of how much you can spend within that. So the thing is, you have to be making money, not the owners chucking money in there. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, go on.
So this is really interesting. So what these business owners will then do is just have to find a way to create revenue for the club. Yeah. And the only way to create revenue for the club is to spend on advertising and on marketing and on merchandise, on branding. They're going to have to put money in, But I guess if that's the case, then a bulk of what the money is going to be going to do is to advertise and promote the club around the world.
Yeah.
Then they'll get their revenues up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Ultimately, that's what they're going to do, because they just can't come along as a sugar daddy and just go, right, here's 200 million, go and spend it. But saying all of that, though, Leon, Newcastle, when you think about their spend in the transfer market, they haven't spent a lot. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and apparently they could actually go and spend 200 million in January, because they haven't hit their
ceiling. They haven't hit the buffer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas like Arsenal now, we've spent 150 million, right, on players and stuff like that. And I suppose the interesting thing is now, we were the feeder clubs for Man City. Who's Newcastle's feeder clubs? And who are the players that are linked? Apparently, Martial was being linked with them. I don't know if you know, but Martial
would not surprise me. I think it will be an excellent move for all three parties. I think it will be a great move for Martial. I think it will be a brilliant move for Newcastle. It would be a great move for Manchester United as well. That's a great shout. I heard. I know this is a stretch, but I even heard another amazing footballer with the first letter of his name beginning in M. No, actually, but close. Plays at the same club. Do they play at the same club now?
Yeah, I think M or N.
M for Mark.
Oh Lord, not now, no way, not in.
I heard that there was. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen like this season or next season, but the club now is the type of money that can pay the wages for somebody like Mbappe. They can. The question is, having lived in Paris in the capital, is he going to want to go to Newcastle? Right?
I mean,
are the big players going to want to go there?
I think one of the things, Leon, one of the things that, and I think that's just now going to be, it's a myth now. When they talk about, players would rather, players from abroad would rather come play in London. Now, Man U is an attractive club because it's the biggest club in the world in terms of its, popularity and everything. So they would go there. But somewhere like Newcastle, the North East, not very popular.
Cold, bro. Cold up there.
It's cold. Sorry, it's cold up there. But this talks. Now, if you think about it, when Man City was doing their build, when they, their owners took over, they started their build, and Robinho was one of their first players that they brought in. He actually thought he was going to Chelsea because he saw this team on blue, and he actually said, "I thought it was Chelsea." Yeah, and he ended up signing for them, but he obviously didn't really do well. He kind of flopped. But that was the kind of building blocks in order of getting the big players. Because the thing is, they're not going to, as you rightly said, they're not going to go out there and get Mbappe. Right now, Newcastle are sitting 19th. Okay, there's a good chance that they could get relegated. And obviously, with Steve Bruce at the helm, they haven't been doing too well. And his head is on the chopping block at the moment.
I mean, why don't we pause there for a second? There's no way Steve Bruce is lasting past Christmas. He's probably not even gonna. He's not even gonna last past the month, right? Because with the purchase having gone through right now, the main thing that's important to Newcastle is making sure they don't have to spend a season in the Championship.
Yeah.
So you can bet for sure that they're going to do whatever they can to get a new manager in there, and a good manager at that, even if that manager is going to be there for 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, and they'll get themselves out of this position this season. There's no way they're going to get relegated, and there's no way Brucey's going to stay there, unfortunately.
Leon, what would you say is a good manager to get this whole juggernaut going? Because just to let me finish here. When City started to make their moves and to start making their moves into getting into the top four and so on, they got the likes of Mark Hughes. It was kind of a gradual process. They did change quite a lot of managers until they got obviously the manager they got now, which is Pep. They won their first trophy in championship with Mancini. All right.
Yes.
So so who would you look at that would be ideal to take this club forward with the money that's going to be thrown at this team? There was talk of Conte, but I don't know.
I didn't even know that there was talk of Conte, and he was the first guy that came to my mind when you asked me the question. So I hadn't heard that talk of him. I think he's got experience of English football. He understands what it takes to win at a high level. He seemed to have command of the dressing room.
Yeah.
While he was at Chelsea, and I think he could be a good. I think he could be a good manager to come in for a good 2 to 3 years and see if he can turn.
Yeah,
he can turn
and he's a
things
sort
around.
of manager. If you think about it, he's a sort of manager. You know, when he was at Chelsea, obviously under Abramovich, you know, he took the team from, I think it was 8th or 9th to win the league. You know, after losing to us at the Emirates, and then they just basically went on this run and changed their system, won the league. But he needs money. He wants ready-made players. You know, he's not going to be working with youngsters. And when he was linked with Tottenham, I think he had a conversation with the Tottenham, and they basically couldn't afford him because he wanted to bring in his backroom staff, and the money that he was going to get, Tottenham couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
now,
makes sense.
Not Man City now, with Newcastle now, money's not going to be a problem. Money's not going to be a problem. So yeah, you know what I mean.
So that's one option. Sorry, my phone was just going.
Yeah, right, man.
Do you know this is going to be really off what do they call it? Off center.
Off center or left field.
Left field, right? It's going to be left field. But I think if you're looking for a manager who guaranteed he's not going to stay there for longer than 3 years and maybe only 2 years, right? You've got Mourinho, who I don't think is working right.
I knew you was going to say that.
No, so listen, but you hear my logic though, Norms, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
He ain't going to be there long, and you know he's not going to be there. You know that he's not going to be there long. So just get him in. He's good enough to get them out of the position that they're in right now. Give him 18 months. The thing is whether his ego can handle going to a club which is not challenging for titles, right?
Yeah.
Can his ego handle coming in to do a job which is to save us from relegation, to get us into the mid-table, and maybe to go next season for a top 7, top 6 place next season? Can his ego handle that? I don't know. He's another player. He's another manager that needs ready-made players as well.
Yeah. And he's the sort of manager. He needs money. Yeah, he needs money to do what he needs to do, and you could see that at Tottenham he didn't get the backing. Do you know what I mean? So that's just.
What about the other Chelsea managers? I can't believe his name's gone from my head.
Well, you've got the other Chelsea manager. Well, not the one that's gone to Real Madrid.
He's another Italian, older guy.
Oh, Ancelotti.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Ancelotti.
Yeah. Well, he left Everton. He was at Everton, yeah.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid came calling, and he was back there. So he was only with Everton for a season.
I wonder if he would, if the money could have him come in.
Listen,
I don't know.
Money talks. I mean, another question: Does money buy you success, Leon?
Money buys happiness, bro. I don't care what anyone says. Money
Does
buys
it buy you
happiness.
success, though? That's the question.
But does money buy success? Yeah, of course it does. Money buys anything, Norms. I'm telling you, money buys anything. You might not be able to just go and get it over the counter, get it tomorrow, but money buys anything that you want. Anything. Norms, I could buy anything I want with the right amount of money. It's as simple as that. So yes, if Newcastle want a title, if they want a manager that's going to be like top pedigree, money talks. Money can buy anything. So
saying that then, with our club being self-sufficient, self-sustaining, what we get, the revenue that we get is not what we spend. Do you think that we are kind of behind now in terms of, a lot of clubs now, they're getting a lot of rich owners in, PSG, a couple of the clubs in the Bundesliga, even Atletico Madrid, they've got some rich owners. So I suppose the question I'm saying, is our owners dated? We've both got American owners, yeah? Is it that they're stingy with their money, or they take a lot of money out of the club? We know that because Man United are in a lot of debt, but they offset that debt with the amount of merchandise and stuff that they do around the world. You know what I mean?
So no, this is what I'm thinking, right? All right, I'm going to frame this answer in 2 stages. There is a lot of money floating around the world right now. Okay, when I say a lot of money, I mean a lot of currency, cash. Through the pandemic, over the last 18 months and 2 years, our governments in the United States and in the UK and around the world have literally gone to the printing press and printed as much money as they've needed to keep the countries running. And this is not the same as in hard money, which is backed by physical assets like gold or silver or oil, right, or whatever it might be. This is just cash that has been printed, and invariably, the cash that has been printed goes into the hands of the richest people because they've just got the business and the setup and the systems to bring that cash in their direction, to benefit from the cash that's been printed. So point number one, there is a lot of cash circulating right now. And I think that if anybody with sufficient capital came in to the Glazers or to your guys, what's your
Cronkies.
Yeah, Kroenke's. Actually, funny enough, I was thinking about Liverpool. What's the Liverpool guy?
Liverpool's owners.
He's got an American owner as well. They've got an American owner.
American owners. What they call
I forgot his name, but the same.
Is it Henry? Is it Henry?
He owns American football and baseball clubs as well. But I just
his name left my mind. My missus might be able to put it in the chat, and she'll.
But the point is the same, right? If anybody who's got a lot of money comes to these owners and says, "Look, I want to buy your club," it's a business decision, right? It's a business decision. It's like, if I can buy something 10 years ago for 100 mil and sell it now for 400 mil, then it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to do that. So I think at some point or another, we will see the likes of bigger clubs being bought, and deals going on where they are sold to people who are interested.
The thing about these Arab owners, or that part of the world, I'm wondering if it's like a little chess game they're playing, because it's almost like they're pawns here. Because I mean, these owners, they could have easily afforded. Look, Arsenal's worth around about 2 billion. Yeah, when it came in, and I think the Cronkies know that Arsenal is a cash cow. They make a lot of money, literally. The stadium that he's got, I can't remember the stadium that he's got. That stadium that he built, I think it was worth something like 5.8 billion. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
What, the Emirates?
No, not the Emirates. He's got a stadium, American football stadium. They moved. I think he's I can't remember if it's the Rams or I can't remember the name of the club. But basically, they built a state of the art stadium that's worth 5.5 or 5.8 billion. Do you know what I just said to you?
That's
right. So that's why we're so disgruntled with our owners, because he knows, he can take money out of the club, and he's just pouring it into his other, projects that he's got.
Yes.
And now, there's complaints about, if you look at our stadium now, it looks shabby. The paint, listen, I'm telling you, it looks shabby. I mean, I think there was talk about even in your stadium, that certain parts of it was falling apart.
Wouldn't surprise me, man. That stadium needs
where's the investment? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Then you get the likes of these owners, these Audi owners that are, look what they've done with Man City, and look what they're going to do with Newcastle. But there's this thing of this power struggle that's going on, Leon.
But no, sorry, just to interject on that point, right? We are talking as fans, right? Because when we go into the stadiums, we want to sit in nice seats.
Yep.
We want to see everything painted nicely. We want to see all the turnstiles without the rust or the paint chipping off the turnstiles. These are cosmetic things which do not put money in the bank. And from an ownership perspective, Kroenke, Glazers, the PIF, these are not money-making activities, right? And there's no reason why they need to do them until they become completely essential, until it's a safety issue.
Yeah,
cosmetics just doesn't put money in the bank, and we're talking as fans.
Maybe I'm just talking out of frustration.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And is there a hint of jealousy?
You've got a lot to be frustrated about, bro. You've got a lot to be frustrated about.
Would you, with your current owners, I said about, do you think that the way we are doing our business, Man United and Arsenal, you think that it's an outdated system and that we should be looking? I mean, would you be happy to have these owners take over your club?
Let's say it this way. I'd be happy to have owners with pockets that deep. I'd be happy to have owners with pockets that deep if they could find a way to get the money from their pockets into the club via whatever financial fair play rules they need to abide by.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it would be brilliant. I think it would be brilliant. Now, then the other question comes in: are we creating a highly unbalanced system where smaller clubs will just not be able to compete? We're creating a two-tier system in one league, where you've got the top 7 now. Let's include Newcastle in that top 7.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you've got the other 13 clubs who are just literally playing for TV money, advertisement money, and whatever small chance they have of winning a Carling Cup in February, or I don't even know what League Cup is called right now. Winning a League Cup in February,
Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Carabao Cup, right? So, are we creating a two-tier system in one league? And I think we are well on our way to that. And that's when you'll see the breakaway with Man U, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, and now potentially Newcastle.
Sounds crazy when you say Newcastle, doesn't it?
Well, you have to. Isn't it?
I have to say, money talks.
Money talks. You have to say it. So
you make some real good points there, Lee, and I know when this happened, basically the Premier League, the rest of the football clubs in the Premier League weren't happy about this, and they obviously
what weren't they happy about? Let's be really clear.
Well,
I've been listening.
I mean, I don't know the granular details, but I think if you look, they're feeling threatened that the big boys coming now. They've literally got 10 times the amount of money, if not more, than the rest of the clubs put together, right?
So, Norms, so let me ask you this. So, look, if I came on your road, and I paid your neighbor double the price for his house than what you paid for your house, right? What concerns of it is it? What concern of yours is it?
Yeah, free world, mate.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of the money that the club's been bought for, that's nobody's business except Piff, Mike Ashley, and whoever's done the deal. That's their business.
Yeah.
From my understanding, I think what the other 19 clubs weren't happy about, and I haven't been involved in the conversations, but I've just been listening to the news, is that they weren't informed. They were informed at the same time as everybody else knew, so they didn't have any prior warning.
Right.
I don't know if there's a protocol that needs to be followed when these things happen, but they didn't have any prior warning, and they knew at the same time as everybody else.
Yeah.
But all the rules were followed. All the rules in terms of the
absolutely, absolutely. But I think because one of the things they do is they look at the owners and see whether they're viable in terms of whether they can buy a club when there's no so-called skeletons in the club. But we all know that billionaires they all got skeletons in the clubs, and we're going to come on to that a little bit later in the conversation. Say another 20 minutes or so we can get to the end. Now, there's probably a hint of jealousy, and as you rightly said, if you come onto my road and buy the house next door for whatever, whose business is it? You know what I mean? That's the deal that you've decided to do with that person, and that's the end of the story. Do you know what I'm saying? So there may be a hint of jealousy. The other thing as well was the Premier League. They could be accused of being hypocritical, because about two years ago, when this deal was happening, the only reason why it didn't go through, one of the major reasons, was the fact that this group owned is it BN? BREN? It's a sports franchise channel over in Saudi Arabia. Okay. And they were actually showing all the Premier League games.
Right. They were pirating the games.
So that's why it didn't go. So obviously they've sat around the table now with the Premier League, and obviously had a gentleman's agreement, said, okay, look, we will stop now showing these games. If you stop, can we now take over thingy? Because what it's doing now is taking away a chunk of whatever the Premier League has, because anybody, you log into BN and you could get all the games.
That's right.
Virtually free. Premier League didn't like that. Now all of a sudden now it's okay. And
so what they've done is they've agreed that the piracy will stop, and not only that, but they've also agreed to find a media partner that will stream or that will show the games legally with a fee going to the Premier League, right? So you ask the question. You ask the question: is there anything that money can't buy? And that's it. It's all about the money. As long as the Premier League are getting their money, then they're happy. It's all about the Reddies.
So at the end of the day, their pockets are lined. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. But mate, so listen. Okay, so just here in the chat, it said you still need the right manager to attract the right players. And I suppose someone like a Conte would definitely attract the players. I suppose it just all depends on, especially this season, it's going to be really important for Newcastle because they need to come out of the relegation zone. You know what I mean? I know at the weekend they've got Spurs. I hope they turn them over. You know, the field goal battle. You know, I hope they turn them over because you know we don't get along. But just with the ownership now, I want to kind of look at the ethics, the morality, and the morals behind this group. Amnesty have come out not happy about this. And I saw like there's somebody who's got family out there who's in prison. I think they're in prison for about 2 or 3 years, and they want all the Premier League teams to boycott. Boycott. So there's a lot of pressure being put on the Premier League, and obviously
to boycott what? To boycott their matches.
I'm trying to find it. I just kind of briefly, it kind of just flashed up in my timeline. I'm trying to find where it was, but here it is. Let me just read this. So I don't want to sort of misquote. So it's got her name is Arij Al Sadan, said her brother had been tortured and been forcibly. I remember I'm reading this. It's just information. Disappeared by Saudi Arabian officials in 2018. A woman says her jailed brother has been tortured in Saudi Arabia and is urging Newcastle United fans to remember the state's victims at games. And a consortium backed by the Saudi, which is the public investment fund, who has bought the club. The Premier League said the new owners were separate from the state. So obviously now the Premier League are coming in and are kind of like making excuses. But coming on to this whole human right, I mean, I don't know the details, but it's claimed that, the human rights, the way they treat people, in terms of, just today I was reading a guy went over to Dubai and was going over to get his football badges and ended up somebody had left some vape stuff.
Yeah, I heard this. Yeah. I heard this.
The guy's got 25 years.
Yeah, some CBD in his bag or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not Saudi Arabia, that's Dubai.
Dubai. But I'm kind of saying the way these countries think, they're no nonsense. Yeah. Okay. And I suppose that whole thing of that, how do they treat other humans? And this is the thing that Amnesty are really upset about. So when it was announced, Amnesty was not happy about it because obviously the human rights issue in Saudi is not good at all. So what are your thoughts on that?
They're very authoritarian countries. Yeah, they're very, very authoritarian countries. But look, this is my thought, Norms, right?
Is it going to be a controversial one?
Not purposely. Yeah,
okay.
Not purposely.
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think you're looking at it from a logical point.
We can never approve ever of human rights violations, no matter where they happen, no matter when they happen. We can never ever approve of any individual, any organization, any government, or any state abusing or violating the rights of any other human. We will never approve it, right? But I think conflating that with a business transaction is not something that I would see that I easily understand. I don't think it's a fair conflation of saying because this state has been involved in human rights violations, which by all accounts, I don't know, by all accounts, it looks as though they have, then they shouldn't have bought this club, or we shouldn't have had do any business with them in this country. No, the country that we sell the most arms to, that we send the most, that we as a country sell the most weapons of war to is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and the atrocities is it Yemen?
I mean, I don't even know that specific example of the
Yeah,
atrocities.
they have the weapons that they used.
So the weapons we sold to them, they use. Okay, there you go. Argument done. Right now, look. When you look at, if you want to look at corruption, if you want to look at states and countries who are corrupt to the hilt, you need to look no further than the country in which your feet are standing, and the country of where your manager and your owner and my owner comes from.
Yeah.
So the United States and the UK and Britain are involved in some horrendous atrocities around the world, but we just don't see them that way because our news is not going to portray the stuff that our governments sometimes have to get involved with. I don't know what happens on these deep levels where they got to make decisions that are very, very difficult for normal people to make, right? But I just don't think that it's fair to conflate the two issues of human rights abuses with sport. I think they are separate. You've got people saying the same thing about Qatar, and I'm happy to have the conversation with somebody who disagrees with me. This is just my viewpoint as we're talking about it right now. You've got Qatar, who are staging the World Cup next year, 2022, and they've been accused of human rights violations, even in the building of the stadiums for the World Cup. So this is not something this is not good. It's not good, but I think human rights is something that needs to be dealt with. I don't know that it can be dealt with properly through the lens of sport and business.
Yeah, because people can accuse it of bringing politics into sports and that.
Exactly.
And the two don't kind of mix. Some people will say, well, you're talking about Black Lives Matter and this and blah blah. So they brought that into the equation now.
Absolutely.
So where do you stop? Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's a good argument to the point that I've made, is that we've brought Black Lives Matter and taken a knee into the Premier League before every game. So based on what I'm saying, should we be conflating those two issues? Well, but here's the reason why we should. And this is, I've answered my own question in my head, right? Because there's almost nowhere where racism is more prevalent and more under the microscope than on the terraces of a football stadium every single week. So that's the reason why BLM and Black Lives Matter taking the knee has it kind of made its way into football. Whereas I don't know that we can, argue that PIF and Saudi Arabia shouldn't own a football club because of their own human rights. I mean, they killed a journalist, bro. Have you seen this?
I know.
Jamal Khashoggi or whatever his name is.
Yeah, did they behead him or something?
So the only footage that I've seen.
You see it?
The only footage that I've seen is the footage of him walking into the actual embassy or wherever he's going to, and he never came out. But apparently there's footage, or either video footage or audio of them actually, snuffing this guy, like literally taking him out. So, some of the stuff they've done, and worse yet. So this is where it gets difficult, because worse yet, the guy who's implicated in that murder, in that alleged murder, is the same guy that runs the PIF, which is the organization that bought Newcastle, right? So he's head of that organization. He's implicated in a murder, but again, he's implicated in a murder. Abramovich ain't got clean hands, bro.
So and that's why I was saying a lot of these owners, these billionaire owners, they didn't just get there by saying, "Oh, a bit of charity stuff, man." They had to take out a few I ain't gonna say, you know what I mean? To get where
I,
they are. You know, they're ruthless. They got some skeletons in their closets.
that's right.
But as you said, money talks. And when you're dealing with the levels at those high echelons, you know, if you want to kind of get spiritual, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But you know where we're going. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
yeah,
at
yeah.
the end of
I
the day, there's
completely
some
agree.
certain stuff that's going on at high levels that
Correct.
we're not to know about. And
Correct.
unfortunately,
You're dead right, Norms. There, you know, you got to think about where money is involved. There is usually crime or jealousy or backbiting. There's some kind of badness going on where high levels of money are involved. It's rare. I think it's rare that you see, billionaires and multi millionaires without some kind of betrayal. Someone's betrayed them, or someone stabbed them in the back some way or another, or somebody's, I don't know, someone's had to be hurt, or I don't know what happens at these levels of money. I don't know. But you can certainly expect that, as a billionaire who's made his money from oil, that, Abramovich isn't an angel, or the people around him are not an angel.
I mean, the Cronkies, they're no angels either. I mean, he's got some channel where they do trophy hunting, killing lions and all that, blah blah blah, and they've got a channel specific to that.
Wow.
So there's certain things that are going on with I don't know, for the Liverpool owners, I don't know for the Glaziers what they're involved in. Do you know what I mean? But as you said,
I'm sure at that level of business, someone gets their nose, put out a joint for sure, at the least,
At the least, I mean, but listen, as you said, I think bringing politics into sports in general, it really does. You look at apartheid, and countries being banned and stuff like that. So I think you need. I know it's difficult. It's a thin line because you've got the human side of it, and you've got those individuals or countries or suffering, but yet it's like, what can governments do? Do you know what I mean? And then that's where the whole politics comes into it, and everything just gets muddled. You know what I mean? Listen. Newcastle is probably going to be the new, as a new Man City, but I think a lot of people are going to be throwing that in their face because it's the thing that's happening now. It's the most current thing that's happening now.
So let me ask you a question then, Norms, right? And I'm going to write this down somewhere. I'm going to put a note in my diary. How many years from now do you think it will be before Newcastle win the Premier League?
You know what? You read my mind, man. You're a discerner.
Have you got that one written down?
Well, what I was going to do to conclude the show, I was going to ask that question.
Okay, let's save it to the end.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming towards the end. We've been on an hour or so, so I want to kind of wrap it up in the next sort of 10 minutes. But that's one of the questions that I was coming on to next. One, first of all, how long is it going to take before Newcastle win the league? What does it mean for the likes of Man U and Arsenal? I'm not even going to even say Chelsea or Man City, because why I say that? Well, then saying that, because Man United, they do spend. Well, Arsenal do spend, but I don't know. I just think that the owners that we've got, the managers that we've got, do you know what I mean? When I look and see the names that are being linked with Newcastle, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think in the description, or in my description, or in my title was, honestly, I would love it if we do it. Are you worried? That was my title. And the question is, are you worried? Are you worried? One, because they're talking, Amanda Staveley was saying between 5 and 10 years, they want to be winning the Premier League.
All right. So answer that first. So I'll answer the first question. Am I worried? No, because I try hard not to worry about things that have got so many permutations and possibilities, right? I don't know what's going to happen. And so it's no point worrying about it, right? So I don't really worry. For us as a club, I think we will keep spending. Manchester United will keep spending. They are the club that will restructure their finance deals and will just keep spending. They're very, very clever in terms of finding ways to spend money.
Yeah, definitely.
So from my point of view as a Man U fan, I'm not particularly worried. I think we've been at the top of the game for long enough. We're long overdue a Premier League title. I think that could happen, this year or next year. So I'm not too worried. I don't think Manchester City have got any reason to worry either. No. I mean, their pockets are incredibly deep. You said no, not to really worry, not even Chelsea, but again, Chelsea's pockets are deep. Abramovich will keep spending if he needs to keep spending, right? So those three, I think, are going to be okay. For Spurs, Daniel Levy is a very shrewd businessman, and I just don't think he's only going to do what makes sense. And I don't think he's desperate to win a league. I just don't see Spurs winning anything anytime soon. Even with that big fancy new stadium, I just don't see Spurs winning anything anytime soon. So we can sorry, Spurs fans, I just leave that one there. I'm not being disrespectful. I just don't. Spurs are Spurs, right? They're just not going to win anything right now.
They always Spurs it up, mate. They always Spurs it up.
Yeah, so just leave them where they are. Liverpool, interesting. Will they keep spending? I don't know. I don't know how much longer Jurgen's going to be there. Jurgen Klopp is going to be there if he's going to continue to stay there for another 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know. I'm concerned for Arsenal.
I don't know. You have to leave it to leave.
No. Just let me go there. Yeah, I know this hurts you, and you're my boy, so I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I think Arsenal are a little bit lost at the moment. I think they're a little bit lost as a club in terms of their identity. They should be the biggest club in London, but they're kind of not anymore.
They're drifting, man. We're drifting.
Yeah, they're drifting. You've got guys like Brentford, which are incredibly well run and well managed, who are now in the Premier League. By all accounts, are going to stay in the Premier League and going to stay up this season. We know first season, second season.
They've got a great manager,
right?
Mate.
Their club is run incredibly well by all accounts. So you've got other London clubs which are coming up in the Premier League. Look. I was about to say, look at the London clubs in the Premier League. If I get them all, you've got West Ham, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal,
Crystal Palace,
Brentford. Fulham's not in the league at the moment. No. So I think there's 6 London clubs.
Yeah, I think it's 6. I think it's 6 London clubs. Let me just. It sounds about right.
I think it's 6. And at the moment, Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal is leading the pack like they used to. They used to be undisputed top club in London, and I don't know if they are right now. So there's a lot of work for Arsenal.
Yeah, so Brentford, Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal, Crystal Palace,
Chelsea.
So it's a lot of London derbies, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of London derbies. And the question, are you going to win? Just take those London derbies, right? Just on those London derbies alone, you got out 5 threes or 15. Yeah. You got 30 points. You got 30 points for the season, right?
Yep.
Out of those London derbies, 5 threes are 15 because you're not playing yourself. Times 2 home and away. What do you think Arsenal's point score out of those London derbies are going to be? You already lost to Brentford, so you can take that. You can take that one away.
We've got Crystal Palace next on Monday at home.
Is Arsenal going to win? Do you think Arsenal's going to win half of those points, half of those 30 points against their London rivals?
You know what the problem is, Leon, is that with Arsenal we're so consistently. Who knows? And that is the thing, is because we go and do what we did against Spurs.
But that's because they're Spurs, though.
Yeah,
you're always going to raise your game to play Spurs. Always. Yeah. You will be 2-0 down against Spurs at halftime, and you'll come back and win the game 3-2 because it's Spurs.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could do that against Chelsea. I don't know if you'd do that against
Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace, West Ham. I mean, especially West Ham, they're doing quite well under Moisey. With Crystal Palace, they kind of had a sort of dodgy start, but now, the Patrick Vieira element. Obviously, he's going to be coming back to the Emirates for, as a manager. So that's going to be interesting on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know.
And
I mean,
you know me, Norms. I've got a little
yeah,
soft spot for the Gunners, right?
I know.
So
Listen, I know you. Listen, let me just make this clear to everybody on the thing. Yeah, if you listen, we got this chat, right, and Leon some years ago came on Arsenal fan TV. Yeah, do you remember?
I remember with my son, yeah.
Yeah, you were so happy. You were so happy putting it out there. You know what I mean? And we all came out and we said, you're an Arsenal supporter, mate.
Look, I
Yeah,
went to a game.
you got Arsenal blankets. You got an Arsenal pajama.
I went to a game or two or three, right? Because they're close to my house. Or four, maybe. Maybe I had a season ticket for a year.
What you enjoy is good football. Yeah.
Look,
what you enjoy is good football. So yeah, you went there to watch good football, but
they're close to home,
spot.
much nearer to Manchester. And like, to be honest with you, they're my local club in that sense, right?
Yeah,
they're my local club. So the fact that I supported Manchester United from a long time ago when I was a boy, before I moved to North London, it's like you can't switch. But
yeah,
Arsenal are my local club. There, I've got a little affinity for them. So I'm just disappointed to see them
where they are now.
Yeah, where they're doing. Yeah, as a football fan, right? So as a football fan, I like Arsenal. I can't say otherwise, and I don't think they're doing very well. But they frustrate me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you sort of went through the teams in terms of the worry factor. The whatever it is.
The worry.
You're right. I was guessing the Arsenal because to me, I'm more worried about Arsenal, and I'm worried in the sense that the likes of Conte could go to Newcastle. We could be missing out on really decent managers because if Arteta doesn't do it, we when we was going for a really bad run at the start of the season, Conte was the one in the picture and everybody. And I mean, in some cases, maybe even yourselves, if Conte comes to Man United, you win the league. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem is when you're starting to hear his name being linked with
Newcastle, that's right.
That's why I'm asking the question: are you right? So we can look at different facets. What I liked what you've done, you broke it right down, and it kind of made sense. It wasn't a kind of case of you just sort of highlighted one point. You sort of looked analytically at each team,
each of the big six, other big six.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Arsenal at the moment, we just haven't got our skates on at the moment, and we don't seem to be going in the right direction.
Of those teams, I think Arsenal has the most to worry about, which is not. It's not. What's the word? It's not fatal. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. But you do need to move. I think for your long-term success, you need to get an experienced manager. I'm not disrespecting Arteta. For your long-term success, you need to get an experienced manager. You need to get some heavyweight footballers. There's not one footballer at Arsenal Football Club that I would say is a marquee footballer. Not one. Yeah. You've got not one marquee footballer that would of the stature.
You're right. You're right. And Arteta, he's bought for the future. He's hoping that these players are going to come good. These young players. Who's to say that And I think this can probably bring me on to the final thing. Who will be Newcastle's feeder club? Right, Man City. We was at Man City's feeder club. We had the likes of Sagada, Clichy.
Yeah.
But what's his name? Adebayo and what's the greedy guy? Sami Nasri. Paulo Torre. Half of the team went there. So who now will become Newcastle's feeder club? And the problem is that if Newcastle, you pose the question is how long will it take before Newcastle? We haven't really answered that question yet. Because there's different permutations.
That's a really good question.
Arsenal living in the past. Okay.
Do you know, that's a really good question. All right. So, look, I like that question a lot. Who will become Newcastle's feeder club? Okay, let's do the list again, right?
Yeah.
They ain't taking anyone from Man U. No one's going from Man U. Maybe Martial. Maybe Martial. But that's not a feeder. That's just like we need to get rid of Martial.
Yeah.
It works for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So Man U could be in the feeder club. Liverpool definitely ain't being a feeder club.
No, the reason why Liverpool ain't going to be a feeder club because they've got too many old players.
Right. And this is coming to the point I'm making. There's no one in the big six that's going to be the feeder club. Chelsea's not, Spurs is not, Arsenal's not, because the good players are at Manchester City, Liverpool, and at Manchester United. Spurs hasn't got anybody. Who have Spurs got that Newcastle won? Who's Arsenal got that Newcastle won? They
they
maybe
probably they wouldn't mind Kane. They definitely would.
With one exception. With one exception.
But Leon, sorry, just going back. Think about it. We've got young players that we're trying to bring through now. Yeah, we're bringing players for the future. We're not here to win the title now. This is, as they call it, the process, the project. You know, there's so many P's in this thing. The PR process. Yeah. Song. Who's Song?
From Spurs.
Oh, Son.
Yeah.
Son.
That's
maybe. He's a good player. I love him at Arsenal.
That's a good shot.
Fantastic player. But when you sort of went from, like, you know, the teams right the way down, you said Man United, Martial, Liverpool don't have any players to sell because all their players are sort of over the age of 30. Yeah, so they're going to be able. So they're going to be looking at those. Or what they may do is maybe take someone like a
one or two. Yeah, so if you're,
you know what I mean? You know,
exactly that. Yeah? Exactly that.
But they still won't be a feeder club. But then when you think about Arsenal now, with the young players that we're trying to bring through, yeah, the likes of Saka, the likes of Smith Rowe, the likes of Martinelli. Think about it. These are guys that are under 22, 23.
Hey, you never win the league with young kids, mate.
Yeah, but you did.
Come on.
I knew you'd get that one. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying there's a possibility. But what you will see now with Newcastle having the sort of money that they've got, yeah, it will simply mean that if they do come in for our players, you know they're going for a king's ransom.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any one feeder club. But like, I think it was Jay that made the comment. You could see someone like Son and Kane going there. You could see someone like Martial going there. Origi, I don't even know Origi. If Newcastle have got that much money, I don't think they're going to be spending it on players like Origi, in my opinion. I think they're going to be going abroad. Yeah. They're going to be looking
Coutinho? What about Coutinho?
Coutinho, somebody like Coutinho who's got, you know, experience in the league, played at the top level, kind of out of sorts at their current club. You know, those are the kind of levels that they're gonna go for, I think.
So it's, well, I'll say, Leon, it's interesting times ahead. Absolutely, times ahead. I mean, we're gonna have to watch this space in the next, say, 12 months or so. If Newcastle end up going down, it sets them back a year, but no doubt, you know, they will be back up. Personally speaking, do I see them going down?
No chance.
No chance. I can't see it. Not with the sort of investment or
no chance.
I mean, these guys, they're going to be demanding.
That's it. And remember, they don't play there, or they're coming from a very authoritarian background.
When man calls the manager into the office, the man just goes down and gets his machete. Yo.
Exactly.
We need to have a conversation. You know, like when you watch those mafia films and they say, come here. Want to talk with you. You know that you're done. You know you're done out here. You understand? You're done out here. But it is going to be interesting times ahead.
Right, so let's answer that first question.
Right.
I like that. Will
Newcastle build around the market?
Okay, so that wasn't the question I was going to ask. So we'll come back to that one. The question I was going to ask you is, yes or no, will Newcastle be relegated this season?
I'm gonna go no. The reason why I'm saying no is because of the amount of money that's invested in this team. They can't afford to. I just can't. And I think it starts with this weekend, them beating Spurs. Yeah.
I'm with you on that 100%.
So what about yourself?
I cannot see any way that Newcastle get relegated this season. I think they will sign whatever manager they need to sign, even if it's Sam Allardyce, and they will make sure that they Jay said no, I agree. Yeah. Spurs, Newcastle will not get relegated this season. What was Jay's other question?
Let's just go back to that one. Will Newcastle build around a marquee signing?
Yeah, that's the modern way to build a football club, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the modern way to build a football club. I mean,
I suppose the question is, who will? I mean, we could be going asking questions all night. Who will that marquee signing be?
That's exactly right.
There's a possibility. I mean, look, Kane is not happy He's not happy at Spurs. You can see in terms of the way he's playing. Would Man City go back in for him? Like Man City right now, do they need a focal player like somebody like a proper number 9? Would they go in for Kane? You know, Daniel Levy is going to be asking for a lot of money.
Well, he had a lot of money in his hand. He turned it down. I don't know why. He turned down 100+ million, right?
Exactly. Now the thing is, Newcastle, Kane could be the new Alan Shearer, mate.
What? Just stay there his whole life?
Oh. Well, no, I'm just talking about in terms of. Well, I suppose if you build around Kane.
Oh, the new Alan Shearer at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's on his way to breaking some records. How about wearing that number 9 shirt, black and white stripes?
It works, doesn't it? It kind of works.
It kind of works, doesn't it? Can you imagine those Magpie fans?
It kind of works.
The big bellies hanging out. Can you imagine? Whoa.
It kind of works, actually.
It kind of works, doesn't it? Interesting times ahead, Mr. Leon.
I can see, and he's kind of bland like Alan Shearer as well.
Yeah,
Alan Shearer's a little bit just.
Yeah,
he's a great.
He's not media savvy. He's not media savvy.
But he's bland, right? He used to celebrate with one hand in the air, just like this. What a dumb celebration! But he would, right, just like one hand in the air, like I mean, Kane's
doing the Sue.
Exactly. Should be doing that. I don't know. I can see Kane at Newcastle. I can see him there.
It's a possibility, mate. Because listen, they could give him anything in terms of money-wise. They could give him anything, mate.
Anything he wants. But now here's a question: is Kane actually a marquee signing? I don't know if Kane's a marquee signing.
You don't think?
I don't know. He's a big name.
He's a big name. I get what you're saying.
Look, a marquee signing.
I know what you're saying. When you talk about a marquee signing, you know, someone like a Ronaldo is a marquee signing. Now, it sounds kind of crazy, Leon. When he came to Man U, I didn't look at him as a marquee signing. I just saw him coming back home.
Oh, don't get me talking about that. It was just so right.
I was going to say, if Newcastle bought him, then I would say a marquee signing.
Clever. Absolutely right. Yeah. Absolutely right. Bang on. Because we've got other big names at that club. We've got very big names at Man U. Whereas Newcastle,
Sancho, you know what I mean? You've got some big names there.
Yeah, we've got big names all the way through. Pogba, you've got Varane, you've got, I don't know, they're just all there.
You've got talent falling out your ears,
it's
mate.
Beautiful. It's even Cavani, I think, is a brilliant football player.
I love his movement.
Newcastle doesn't have any of that, right? So maybe Kane is not a marquee signing, but for me, a marquee signing would be somebody like Mbappe, would be somebody like Haaland from Dortmund. Yeah. If they get somebody in like that, then you're talking about a marquee signing where they can build from the top and build back.
I'll tell you what, if they start pushing slowly up the league, and there's that whole feel-good factor, Haaland has got a buyout clause of 70 million next season. 70 million. Listen, they could just go, right, book. There it is. They don't want to. Listen, Leon. They don't need to negotiate.
All right. Let me just work this out in my head. Let me just work this out in my head, right? So 70 million.
Yep.
70 million out of 1 billion, right? That is like. Hold on a second. My head can't get around.
What's that like?
That's like having £1,000 and spending 7 pence, something like that. Do you understand what I mean? I'm just a very very quick.
Yeah.
I think that's like having £1,000 and spending. And wherever they got
their money invested, wherever they got their money invested, I'm sure they'll make that back in a couple of hours.
It's no money at all. It's no money.
It's no money, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's crazy when you look, and then to sort of round it all off, that in a couple of years' time, with the stuff that they're going to do, the investment and the marketing around the world. I mean, in the Saudi Arabia, they're going to push this big time.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely,
they're gonna do this, man. And listen, within a few years, these guys trillion. Well, I wouldn't even want to think about it.
In terms of net worth guaranteed, the way the markets are going right now, if they've got their money invested in crypto, if they've got their money invested in whatever it might be, I'm guaranteed it will be cryptocurrencies they got their money in.
And interesting enough, in terms of where they've invested as well, because we talk about, just sort of flipping back to in terms of the human rights issues and the fact that these guys are they're not happy and that we should boycott this and whatever. If you think PIF, yeah, they've got investment in Disney.
Wow.
Yeah, Disney. There's a number of other things that they've got their investment in. Like I'm talking about big things that people use. Facebook.
Yeah. That's
Instagram, you name it, they're in there. So all of a sudden now, do I stop and go, hang on a minute, I'm not going to use Facebook anymore because you don't think like that. You don't go, oh, hang on a minute, just and that's the problem. That's Absolutely. The problem. So if you're gonna talk about football, you can't talk about it in isolation because these guys have invested, they've got money in everything. I mean, their investment, oh gosh, I did like read up on what they're invested in. I think it's crazy the stuff that the investments that they've got. I mean, the RB brothers, they're I think they're Iranian descent as well. The RB brothers, who are worth 21 billion.
So I'll give you my latest kind of story about like you can't take one without the other, right? Yeah. You're basically saying, am I going to stop using Facebook or Instagram or buying Apple or going to this shop because this company is involved? Well, no. So we was talking about, me and my son was talking about R. Kelly, right?
Oh, yes.
Are you going to stop listening to R. Kelly music now that these charges have gone through, right? And I was like, yeah, you can't really and truly, man, you can't be supporting anybody who's been convicted of this type of thing. If you listen to their music, he's going to get royalties and you're going to put money in his pocket. You don't want to put money in the pocket of somebody who's been convicted of this stuff. And my son then said to me, well, you're going to keep going to Greg's to buy your Belgian bun then? Because that guy, apparently, the guy from Greg's, one of the owners or the son of the owner, was convicted of rape or something like that.
Wow.
And Greg's for me is like a regular Saturday, Sunday thing, bro. Chelsea bun with a coffee.
I like the toasted cheese and ham barbecue chicken. Lovely.
There you go, mate. So you're right. You know, it's like there's so many atrocities going on in the world. It's just like you got to just pick and choose and do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have, really and truly.
Just saying here, right? So PIF in 2020, PIF disclosed a stake in Boeing worth. Listen to this. 700 million.
700, wow.
700 million. You'll be interested in this one, Leon. 522 million investment in the Bank of City Group. And 522 million stake in Facebook, among many other investments in major US corporations, which includes Disney.
They're throwing around millions like our man throws around pound coins, you know, bro.
The way of the world, bro. Different kettle of fish, man. Different kettle of fish. But listen, as I said, honestly, I would love it if we beat them.
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it.
I would absolutely love it. Right? Love it. I'm saying I would love it. Right, sorry. I'm overdoing it now. But we're going to end it here. Guys, thank you so much.
Yo, Norms.
Yes,
Norms. You didn't answer the main question.
What was the question?
The main question is how many years? You got to put a number on it, Norms.
All right,
before we shut, you got to put a number on it. How many years until Newcastle
win the league?
Yeah, you got. I want the year, like May 2000 and.
What we now? We're 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Based. Okay. How am I going to look at this? With the money that they've got, and you look at how long did it take Man City to win the league?
That's what I was trying to work out. I think it took them 5-6 years.
Thank you so much, Jay. If it took them 5-6 years, and I'm looking at this in relation.
Let me see if I can find out while we're there.
Yeah, find it out, man. So what I'm going to say then, if it took them 6 years, there's a possibility that Newcastle, because I'm sure I heard Amanda Staveley, I'm sure it came out of her mouth, or somebody came out of somebody's mouth, that they're looking to do this. league within 5 years. So my powder. How long did it take Man City?
I haven't found it yet. Man City timeline of since 2008.
So they got taken over. So it was probably about 7 years.
I don't know.
The first league title. No, hang on a minute. Their first league title was it 2012-13?
So the takeover happened in September. The club was taken over in 2007 by Thrakin Shinawatra.
Oh, easy. You think you wasn't drinking at the time, bro?
All right, so 2008 is when Sheikh Mansour came in, right?
Right.
Man City. So 2008, Man City win league.
I've got somebody saying 2025.
Man City
so
win
4 years time.
Man City Premier League titles. 2011. They did that fast, bro. So they
4 years.
Sheikh Mansour took over in 2008 and they won in 2011.
2011-12 season.
Yeah.
So
that was 3 years.
Are we talking 4 years?
Let's call it it was two. It says here 2011. So I think that might be 2010-11. No, it can't be 2 years.
It can't be. It can't be. That is quick if that was the case, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. So 2008, they won it in 2011. It's 3 years, yeah? 2010-11 is 3 years because, so the takeover happened in 2008, 2009, 2010-11 season. So call it 3 years in timeline. Newcastle won't do that quick.
No, they won't. I'm gonna go within 5 years. So I'll say 2026.
And I was going to say 2027.
Okay.
That was my number, 2020. Who did someone say 2025?
Yeah, 4 years.
Jay said 2025.
Yeah.
That could be a good shout, with that much money, they can spend 3 seasons to rebuild it.
It all depends. Listen, because obviously January is going to be interesting, and who they bring in again, who they get as a manager as well. So those are 2 factors: the manager, and that if they are going to go for are they going to get a marquee signing in January? It's difficult to know. They will get a decent player, and it's then where they're going to finish. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they get relegated. They're based on where they are now. They probably finish mid-table, but they definitely next year they will push on. What's the summer of next year
for their signings? Okay, so this is my final one. I'm going 2020. She said 5 years, right, which would make it 2026. Based on the fact that even the best business person, their plans never go to plan. It's like always a little bit delayed. I'm gonna go. She said 2026, which is 5 years. I'm going 2027 the year after. Because you know what's going to happen, Norms? 2024, 25, they're going to get close and then nerves are going to kick in because they've never done it and they're going to just drop off right, 2 games away from winning the league and it doesn't happen for them just because they haven't crossed the line yet. So I'm going to say they're going to get close, but they're not going to get it done until 2027. That's my prediction.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a feasible.
You're 226, which is also good. I mean, that's right on target with the lady.
Yeah. But I just pray God that the way they're talking, I mean, when you listen to Arsenal fans, I mean, you're probably going to be more optimistic with the players that you got. It just depends on your manager because people are saying that as long as you've got that manager there, you will not win the league, right? So it's important that you do get a manager in, someone like a Conte. Do you know what I mean? I think for us, we're hearing what's happening is with Arteta, even if he does get sacked, we're still behind in terms of our development and our trajectory. Yeah. You're on a quicker trajectory than we are at the moment. We are still far behind. So I would probably say, I mean, you've got fans and pundits saying that we probably won't win it for the next 10 years.
Unfortunately, I can see that being the case.
It means that Newcastle, and you know why I say that? It's actually crazy, Lee. you know, we say it and we think, nah, big old Arsenal. But then look what Leicester did. And we had that was the year when we should have bought the light. I think we was linked. I can't remember what player it was. We only need to get a decent striker. We didn't bother go with him. And then it was the year when Giroud decided that he weren't going to score from January to April. Yeah, and that's our business on and off the field. Complete joke. And you know, people predicted this with Arsenal, the way we're going at the moment. And at the moment, we're going in that direction. And
can you imagine? It hurts. I'm feeling the pain for you, man. It's like Arsenal is becoming a proper mid-table team at the moment.
Absolutely,
it's a real, genuine, bona fide mid-table team. If something doesn't happen soon,
I'd never think I would be agreeing with you, but you're absolutely right, bro.
It hurts, man. I feel the pain for you, bro.
But guys, thank you for those in the chat. Leon, I really appreciate your time coming on. We got to do this again, man. I've got to invite you on because you chat some sense, brother.
No, Norms, you know what? Just thanks. It's fun for me, man. It's fun. I really appreciate that. You just call me onto your podcast, and I hope it goes from strength to strength. And thank you very much.
We can see what we can see what you're where can we find you? I can see your Insta. What else have you got? What other links? What Twitter?
Yeah, so my links are pretty much the same. I am Leon Brown is on Insta, and you can do the exact same thing on Facebook without the little hashtag at the end, and you'll find me on Facebook as well. So just connect with me.
You're TikTok man as well.
Oh, I haven't started posting on TikTok yet, you know, but I promised myself today, Norms. Listen, today I promised myself no more TikTok for the rest of the month. I said I'm not going on there for the rest of the month. I
saw your last post, so not you.
You see what I sent into our group, innit?
TikTok, brother. I know you're into TikTok.
Oh man, that thing makes me laugh so much, but I'm not.
There's some funny things on there, but
I can't do it. Yeah. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for those people that came in the chat. Thank you, Jay, Roger, 1-0 to the Aston Villa, Asha. Thank you for coming on. Those people that was watching, really appreciate your time. Please, yes, Mr. Harris, thank you. Please like, subscribe if you're new, share it around. We're on our way to 200,000, not 200,000 now. 200, yeah. But you never know. Gotta think big. Yeah, really appreciate it, guys. And until the next podcast, hopefully it won't be too long. Premier League is starting back this weekend. Man U, I think you are away to no. Who you got this weekend?
That's sad that I don't even know. Off the top
of my head. Is it? No, it's not Watford. Liverpool got Watford.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, Liverpool are playing Watford.
Yeah, who you got?
We are. I'll tell you right now.
Are you away?
Hold on. We have got Leicester. We've got Leicester.
You're away to Leicester.
Yeah, we're away to Leicester. Yeah.
Score prediction.
Listen, I got one last story. Yeah, one last story because this matchup, I think it was 2000. It must have been 2014 or 13. This matchup changed my whole view on football. This same fixture, Leicester versus United, because this was when we were winning 3-0 at half time.
I remember
and
that.
Leicester came back and won 5-3 in the second half against us, right? And I was mad. Norms, I went to work next day. I was fuming. I was burning. Like, you know when you just can't. I was just in a rage, Norm.
I know.
Could that happen? Leicester. Norms, I was in a rage. I was just like, I felt my whole blood was just boiling. I couldn't get out of this rage. And then halfway through the day, I'm working vexed, you know, like how dare Leicester. And then something just said to me, Leon, you need to grab. How can you let something which you've got no control over affect you like this? How can you let football affect you like this? And I went, boom. I said, like, I'm never ever gonna let football affect
I remember because you put it in the chat. It was good a few years ago. I remember you said that's it. That ain't gonna happen ever again.
Never. And that day, I know that day is when I stopped being a Man U fan and when I became a Man U supporter and when I stopped being a football supporter and became a football fan.
Well, hopefully, you know, if Ollie is at the wheel and you might change your mind, you might go.
I'm a Man U fan again because we're playing good right now.
I know, a little glory unto you. But listen, guys, thank you again. Please like, subscribe, share if you're new, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you on the next What's Going On podcast. Lee, stay on for me, bro.
I will, brother. God bless. Take care, everyone.